Good morning to all. Today I will be taking you through a journey which Maruti started from M800 in 1983 to Alto 800 in 2012. In this session I will be highlighting on the 7 ways in which M800 and the world in which Maruti started its journey in India is different from the world in which Alto was launched in 2012. Now I will be showing you a slide to show the difference between M800 of 83 and Alto of 2012. Let's see how a simple car can tell the story of a country, its people, its economy. The journey from Maruti 800 to Alto 800 is a proof of how India's car market, its economy and business have changed over the 4 decades. 4 decades ago, Maruti 800 was a sensation. It was a technological marvel as compared to bulky Ambassadors and Premier Padmanis. These were the 2 only cars available in India in the 80s. Its smallness was its beauty and the mileage a wonder. The car besotted an entire generation of Indians. Now let me take you to the history of Maruti 800, or let us go to the flashback of Maruti 800. In 1980s, when Maruti 800 was launched, India's car market was very small. Annually there were only 40,000 units being produced, and it was dominated by Ambassadors and Premier Padmanis. Both of them retailed them at about rupees 70,000 plus. The Maruti team then did a survey to understand what people wanted in the cars. They found that people wanted a fuel efficient, smaller car with a lower price tag, which is easy to drive and maintain. Ambassadors were difficult to drive, you all may be knowing. It's like driving a truck or a old lorry. This motivated the Indian government to tie up with the Japanese company Suzuki Motors to launch the people's car in India. The then managing director of Maruti, R.C. Bhargava, was targeting to sell 1 lakh cars within 5 years of the launch. Suzuki agreed to price it on road at rupees 52,500 when it was launched. When the car was launched, the excitement was palpable. People just wanted to look at the car and marvel at it. Right from industrialists to bureaucrats, executives of MNCs wanted to own one. Maruti 800 was a status symbol, a luxury India could afford, or a few Indians could afford. Now let us see how the Indian consumers or the Indian market have changed from the 80s to the Alto 800 launch. I will be discussing about the 7 ways in which how India and its consumers have changed. First, black market premium to discount. M800 broke new grounds for Indians in car technology. Maruti's mileage was twice of an Ambassador. Its engine did not get heated during summers, unlike Ambassadors. When the booking of M800 began, the response was overwhelming, with 1,20,000 orders in a short span. Customers were asked to deposit 20%, approximately rupees 10,000 as booking fee, and Maruti's annual production was just 20,000 cars a year. You can just imagine the difference between the supply and the demand. 1,20,000 people were aspiring for Maruti, whereas the car company could only produce 20,000 cars. So the demand was 6 times more than the actual production. So naturally it resulted in long waiting period. This meant that the black market price for the car was very high, almost double at rupees 1 lakh. Now let us see how the scenario changed when Alto 800 was launched. Alto 800 made a debut in a variety different India, or in a vastly different India. In 2012, India was a 2.7 million car industry. There were more than 17 companies, or nearly 17 companies, offering 100 plus models in India. Customers had lot of choice. In 80s, when M800 was launched, there were only 2 companies, Ambassador and Premier Padmanis. But when Alto 800 was launched, there were nearly 17 car companies offering 100 plus models. So the point of black marketing or waiting period already is finished. Customers had lot of choice, and it was impossible to think even about waiting list and enjoying black market premium. Moreover, unlike M800, Alto was considered as a common man's car. Now, let me look into the psyche of the people of different countries. India is a small car country. Small cars occupy close to 70% of the market and are the entry-level cars for most Indians. Different countries think differently depending on the incomes, physical space and lifestyle. It's not the money, it's the lifestyle, the physical space which matters most. US thinks big. That means people who have money in US, they go for big car. But Japan thinks small. They go for, or they prefer, small cars. Newly rich Chinese wants big and flaunty wheels, whereas Western Europeans want fuel efficient and environmental friendly cars. So next, third, I will be going to the big city, small city divide being minimized in 2012 when Alto 800 was launched. Earlier in 80s, when M800 was launched, there was a big difference between big city and small city. People in metros were aware of the product. Communication and technology was not up to the mark. But now things have changed. Earlier, the big city, small city divide was glaring in India. Almost everything from social fads to fashion first took in big cities and over time spread to the hinterland. But now, with the media explosion, internet access and better availability of goods and services, things have changed. And the impact is even visible in the automobile sector. The big city, small city divide is no longer there. Small city customers today are informed, demanding and aspirational as those in the metros. This means that Maruti will have to pitch and sell its new entry-level car in the same way to its customer in Adur as in Ernakulam. In the 1980s, when M800 was launched, India was a different world. It was a socialistic economy where consumption and income opportunities both were capped amid quota restrictions, curbs on multinational corporations and imports. A car was a luxury at that time, which only a few could afford. Thus the ownership appalled or signaled a level of wealth and status in the society, irrespective of the size and make of the car you drove. But over the past 2 decades, with the liberalization and globalization, things have changed and become more complicated. Now there are different categories of rich and poor depending on income levels. Now even in the entry level car segment, there are huge varieties. There is a entry compact, you can name Alto Eon, the compact Santro Wagner Beat, and the premium compact Polo Swift i20, not to mention Nano and Reva, adding some variety. And even in the entry level compact, different niches are being carried out. So while Alto 800 is expected to be cheapest, followed by Alto, the snazzier Eon, priced by rupees 30,000 plus, is at the top end. Now in 2012 things are more complicated, unlike how it was when M800 was launched in 83. Now where you come from, what you earn and what you can drive and other social and economic parameters are becoming increasingly complicated. Unlike social status, economic status is inherently far more transient. As a result, in India today, an individual's economic progress is no longer a linear, predictable straight line as it was in the past. It's full of surprises. You will be surprised to hear a humble Haryana farmer who can overnight become a millionaire and flaunt a luxury car. And it's equally possible for a high-flying executive of yesterday to struggle for jobs and money today. Complicating it further is the growing popularity of car financing. Retail financing and the concept of equated monthly installments, which we call as EMIs, were almost non-existent in India in the 80s when M800 was launched. People used to pay the whole money to buy the product, but now things have changed. Nearly every car in 80s were bought by paying cash up front, but this has changed over the 4 decades. Today almost 85% of the cars in India are credit financed, and it is the EMI, that is the equated monthly installments, that decides, not the price tag of the car, that Indians' way to measure their affordability. Another factor that has changed now as compared to the 80s is a younger, richer India. In these 4 decades, India has become younger and richer. More than 50% of the population is under 25 and more than 65% of the population is under the age of 35. Now the first time buyer typically buy a car at the age of 25, unlike in 80s when people used to think of buying car only after the age of 45 or 50, or at least to the minimum 40. The younger buyers want their cars to have a sporty and zippy look with aggressive design. The new Alto 800 was developed keeping them in mind on both performance and look. Its high-mounted petal shaped headlights, sporty spoilers, chrome grills make it far more muscular and sporty, unlike the existing one. The interiors too look good, with better quality of plastics, silver accents and two-tone fabric being used. Now the last thing that I would like to discuss is how India has changed from 80s to 2000. In these 4 decades, India had become more global India. When Maruti 800 launched its M800 in 80s, it met India's need but fell far short of the matured market standards or the global standards. Something as basic as seat belts and airbags were absent. Moreover, India's auto industry was small, primitive, barely regulated and so insignificant that global multinational corporations were not interested. They never found it worth to tap the Indian market. But India is a different world today. It's expected to be the world's fourth largest car maker by volume, probably by 2021. Unlike the 80s, India's car market is regulated today. Issues like emission norms, fuel efficiency and safety standards weigh heavy on the car maker's mind while developing a car. Now, global launches have become normal in India. For the first time, Maruti offers airbags in its entry level. The entry level car Alto 800 is also Euro compliant. To conclude, I would like to mention that the present car market or the present Indian car market is very competitive, unlike the M800. A lot has changed since M800 was launched in 1983, which lasted for close to 3 decades. It was the market leader for the 3 decades. But now the products have a shorter life cycle, and consumers want frequent replacements. This trend has also complicated the car industry, or has also impacted the car industry to a great extent. Thank you.